Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to the Wild Cardinal Network and St. Michael Soccer as we're in town this afternoon at the Nest to take on Enterprise. And it's the Enterprise Wildcats that we're worried about this afternoon for the St. Michael Boys Varsity. And it's a Saturday afternoon on March 22nd, 2025. We have yet to begin region play, so this is a non-region game as Enterprise traveled down to see us here at St. Michael. So we will start region play, actually, I believe next Tuesday. We'll go over that schedule probably at halftime and after the game. Right now, I'll get set to broadcast the game. I'm going to have to crawl up on top of the box again this afternoon and run just one camera. That means no graphics or replays, but that's okay. You get to see the soccer game. Hold on, let me get everything ready to go, including a scoreboard for you. There is a scoreboard, and you see we have 40 minutes to go. There's two 40-minute periods today. We're just about ready to kick off. Here's the Enterprise Wildcats have come down this morning, or this afternoon, rather. Here was a play, and we have Miss Edmonston in the box running the clock this morning. And it looks like we're ready to go. So I'll crawl up to the top of the box, and we'll get going. Thank you again for joining us. Okay, up on top. Apologies for the delay. We'll see what's going on out there. Enterprise is in the white uniforms today. And they look like they're traveling. Get my camera set up here. I can move it. And they are traveling from right to left on your screen. As that is number 1, Mark Flynn, down there, the far left. The goalkeeper for St. Michael. And then St. Michael, of course, is in the gray uniforms. A little bit deceiving once in a while, depending on the view angle you get of the players, as they've got a white front on that gray uniform. Enterprise, their normal color is a navy blue, so I believe those are navy blue shorts that they're wearing there. Again with the white uniforms, contrasting dark numbers. Way back by our goal. One of the little bit of a liability is how bright it is up here and difficult to see the view sometimes. So we'll just try to keep it as wide as I can, as we're not going to get a break from the sun. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, probably 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. A little bit of gust of wind, as you can probably hear in the microphone. That's probably 10-15 miles an hour, not bad at all. Good day to be out on the soccer field. There's a throw in by St. Michael. It's going to end up going just a little bit closer to the end and throw in again. Toby Edmonston, I believe. There's a setup and a shot on goal that's just a little bit high for the Cardinals. It's going to go out of bounds, and Enterprise Wildcats will get an opportunity to clear. And I believe that shot on goal was up by that young gentleman right there. I can't see his number. Number 5. And it's so bright up here, I cannot see my roster or really anything. I'm looking through the small viewfinder of the camera just to be able to see the picture. Out of bounds. Chance for Mark Flynn to kick it down the field. Adjust my camera just a little bit here as well. Pardon my jump. And it went up and over, and it's a corner kick. Apologize. So the Wildcats with an opportunity to kick it in here. In the middle of the goal box, controlled by an Enterprise player who kicks it out, but then it's stolen and cleared by St. Michael. Down the field and out of bounds. Need to adjust my camera. It's a little out of balance. Every time I let go of it, it goes up high. Let's see if we can fix that. Should be a little better. We'll see the Cardinal offense try to set things up here as a throw-in. It's about 25 to maybe 30 yards out. See what they can do with it here, with a chance to set things up the way they want them. And it ends up out of bounds. Enterprise ball from the back end zone. And I am messing up this camera. Up here, something fierce, pardon me. It's out of bounds, given to the Cardinals. Throw in about 35 yards out. Enterprise Wildcats in the white. Trying to advance the ball, not having a lot of luck as they just battle it back and forth. There's a whistle called. It's going to be a handball or foul against St. Michael. And so comes the Wildcats. The free kick. Trying to get it down the sideline there. You wonder sometimes how it stays in bounds. Do one more adjustment with my camera, pardon me. Where's the ball? There it is. Wildcats just using a lot of time to move it around. Steal by the Cardinals with an opportunity here as they get it down in front of their goal. And it's gone for Raphael off to the side, and it's a score for St. Michael, as I think that is Jake Lazary right there with the pink shoes, able to get that in and give that assist to Raphael Duchesne, pardon me. That'll give the Cardinals a 1-0 lead at the 31-minute mark here. And it is, I probably could have done that. I don't know how to clear that now. I did that, and there we go. I was able to run a graphic in the inside of the stadium here via remote control. As Jake Lazary on the score. I hope that was Jake Pink Shoes Lazary. It's just so bright up here. I'm not positive all the time what the players are doing, and now I see my camera's gotten a little bit crooked on me here. Let me see if I can fix that. What going on today? There we go. Lost the ball again for you. Let me get it back. There we go. Midstream. That's Raphael Duchesne. And a 1-0 lead for your Cardinals as they went up with 31 minutes and some odd seconds to go, just a few moments ago, over the Enterprise Wildcats. Now they scored 8 goals the other night in their victory last Friday. What do I want to say? Wednesday it was. Maybe Tuesday. And here's again an opportunity for the Cardinals as they're going to get a free kick or a penalty kick here from about 25 yards out, maybe a little bit less. Little Bill usually makes these kicks. He did not make that one, though. Then they send it over to Hello Bill. A little bit of trickery there as you saw the two players as he just kind of bumped it over to Hello Bill, and then he took a shot on goal. Didn't work out for him, but a little bit of trickery there and a nice play that if it could have come together, but a little bit off to the left. And not sure who was the original kicker there either. Wildcats, they spent a lot of time doing this before where they played around with it a little bit too deep down here on their end, and it cost them. Get it down to midfield and across, so as they send it down into Mark Flynn's territory, who kicks it right back out again. Wildcats still control it, though. Going to go out of bounds. It's going to be a throw in for the Wildcats over on the far side as they're about 30 yards out. Enterprise gets it down. It is going to go out of bounds out of the back of the end zone, though. And our senior goalkeeper, Mark Flynn, send it into play. Doesn't get a kick on it this time, just sends it over to one of his other players. Lets them work it down the field. There's Eddie and Duchenne. Tried to steal it away, unable to, as Enterprise takes it down the field here. There's an opening. He's going to send it down, and he's still looking for a shot. He takes his shot on goal, and he makes it. Oh, my goodness. So I'm not sure who that was, to be honest with you. Hold on. Hey, who was that? Hey, who was that? Hillel? That was Hillel Bill with the goal. Let me see if I can find his. There we go. And that was Hillel Bill on that score. And we'll give an opportunity for the Enterprise Wildcats to kick off at midfield as they're down by 2 goals now. And I had to even go find out who scored that goal there. It's just so bright up here. Oh, and the ball slipped away from me too while I was trying to work things out. There we go. Another shot on goal, just a little bit high though for St. Michael. And there was your shot there. It looks like that was Jake Lazary again with that shot. So it's going to be cleared by the Wildcats goalkeeper, the inner box. They're down 2 goals now with 26 minutes still to go in the contest. There's 2 40-minute periods. And goals by Jake Lazary and Hello Bill so far. And both times, if you're Enterprise, they'll get a hold of the ball here and they'll get control, but they'll do exactly this. They just kick it way too far back, start playing around in the backfield, and the Cardinals will steal it and take advantage of it. So, but for lack of a way, I guess the Cardinals defense doing such a good job that they're just not getting it down in there. There's Mark Flynn, sends it over to Toby Edmonston. It's going to end up out of bounds off of Jake Lazary, and the Enterprise Wildcats will send it in from there. Toby Edmondson sent it down the midfield, and there come the Cardinals again as they got players in position. That's Raphael. Raphael sends it in, and he's high on his kick, though, and out of bounds from behind, so we'll get a clear from the Enterprise goalkeeper. And Raphael Duchenne just a little bit high on that kick. But the Cardinals, once again, once they kind of get on a roll, they just move it down the field really smoothly today. Got a good bit of momentum they've taken away from the Wildcats. Back and forth at midfield. Don't know where to put the cameras. Going to be out of bounds and a throw in for Enterprise. Right at midfield. They're down 2 goals as we're inching closer to the halfway point of the first half. 2 40-minute periods, and we got 24-22 showing on the clock now. A little stoppage in play. I think there's some substitutions that went on, or a substitute went on. There's a discussion in case it slowed things down. Oops, and again, it's Really difficult to see this viewfinder. Come the Cardinals again. Looking for an opening. Ends up out of bounds though, as the Wildcats will send it the other way. They're going to rethrow the ball in. I think there might have been a substitution going on while he tossed it in. There's your throw in. Immediately stolen by St. Michael. Ends up out of bounds, and it'll be St. Michael ball. Toby Edmondson will toss it in from about 40 yards out. I say yards, this is probably a metered field. I'm an old American though. So I can try to do my part. Now he's going to take it out about 40 meters, maybe 35 meters deep, and he's going to get a throw in from there. That's actually 40 yards. I was looking at the wrong player. I said yards again. Here's the Enterprise Wildcats, as they don't really have anyone in position to take that kick. Headed out by St. Michael. Cardinals get deep again. Break it away. There's Raphael stolen and grabbed by the goalkeeper for the Wildcats. There's a good open field run by the Cardinals there, though. Unable to capitalize on it, though. Good strong kick by the keeper. Sends it to the other side of the field, but eventually out of bounds. St. Michael throw in from about 35 yards out. Meters. Over into the corner where the Cardinals will get a chance to throw it in. Didn't go out of the back though, so they'll throw it in just a few yards in. They're going to call that out of bounds and a St. Michael throw in just a little bit further down the field. Ends up out of bounds behind the goal, so the Enterprise goalie will keep it. He's dressed in the pink from head to toe almost. Enterprise is playing around with it just where they shouldn't be, you wouldn't think, right in front of our goal. They're kind of messing around. Here come the Cardinals. Was cleared though by a Wildcat, at least momentarily. Cardinals are controlling the ball and the tempo for the most part throughout the first half here. You could almost say it's surprising they only have 2 goals, the way that they've been down in front of the Wildcats' goal so many times. Another thing I was saying in last week's game, that they were a second half team, and I still believe that to be somewhat true. They seem to have to warm up a little bit, kind of readjust themselves at halftime, and then they usually play a little bit better in the second half. Give Coach Tito a lot of credit for that. Any second half team, or if you can qualify them as that, of course, you're giving them a compliment on both their stamina and then their ability to adjust and play the game as it's going on. So kudos to Coach Tito. Ends up out of bounds. Throw in again for St. Michael. Battle along the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds. St. Michael throw in just a few more yards down the field from where they were. But a Cardinal throw in nonetheless. Ends up out of bounds, and this time a throw in for the Wildcats. Skirt along the sidelines for a little ways, finally bring it out into midfield. Stolen by, I believe that's Hux Morelia. I know that's Andy Cisneros in the blue shoes. Down where there's a collision between Raphael and a Wildcat player, and the ball ends up out of bounds. Going to be a toss in for the Wildcats. Actually going to be a penalty kick. I guess they called a penalty on Raphael there with that collision. With the free kick, the Wildcats just get it out of the field, and here they end up running around again and doing some more of playing around, as I mentioned before. This is what caught them up the last couple of times. They're like playing catch out in front of their own goal. But they get it through the scrum and down on the side of the field before it's finally kicked away by the Cardinals. Their Cardinal comes away from it and heads downfield. There's a shot on goal. A little bit slow and bouncy towards the goal, though, and right into the breadbasket of the goalkeeper for Enterprise. And he'll take a toe to it and send it down the field. Inching a little bit closer to halftime now with 15 and a half minutes left to go before the half. 2-0 score. Cardinals on top. In a non-region game as Enterprise came in here. We're going to start region play with, I believe, BC Rain on the 28th. We'll go over that at halftime when I can get out of the sun a little bit. Cardinals getting down close to another opportunity here in front of the goal, but gathered up by the Enterprise keeper. And I'm sorry, I lost track of the ball momentarily. Goes out of bounds. Enterprise gets to throw it in. I believe that's Hux Morelia I can only see through the viewfinder, so it's kind of guessing at the players a little bit. I apologize this morning, but I can tell sometimes by the shoe color pretty easily. I believe that's Hello Bill. You can tell by the way he handles the ball. He's down. He's going to get tripped, so he's going to get a free kick from right there. About 30 meters out and right at midfield. So he's going to get a clear shot at the goal depending on what they want to do here. Now, last time they tried to use a little bit of trickery, as I believe it was Hux Morelia. Did just kind of a shuffle kick to Hello Bill, who did a shot on goal. So we'll see what they do this time. We're waiting for a couple of shoe ties to go on and from Raphael and others as everybody gets set. Referee taking some notes as well. That is going to be Raphael kicking that ball from there. Raphael Duchesne with a free kick about 38 meters out. Sends it straight into some people, though, and they block it. Goes all the way back to where Mark Flynn will clear. Out of bounds throw in for the Wildcats. It's actually a kick and not from out of bounds. Sends it way down to where it's just gathered up by Mark Flynn. Cleared out of bounds by a Wildcat player. This will be a throw-in for St. Michael. There's a substitution on the play. Jackson Charles for the Cardinals. And I'm not calling out names quite as much as I normally do. Again, it's really bright out here, and I'm just looking straight through a viewfinder, and it's difficult to tell sometimes. I can tell by their shoes once in a while. We got Jake Pink Shoes Lazary, Andy Blue Shoes Scenarios. Hux Morelia wears the salmon shoes, I thought. Ball went all the way down over everybody and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper for the Wildcats. And Enterprise ends up quickly down on their side of the field. Out of bounds at the back of the end zone means a toss in. No, it's going to be a corner kick for the Wildcats. So an opportunity here for the Wildcats. Oh, a penalty kick, actually. Pardon me. There was a whistle on the play. And a penalty on the Cardinals. So they'll get a free kick. At not the greatest of angles, but just a few yards out, a few meters, pardon me. Waiting on the Enterprise player. There's the whistle from the ref. Clears him to go. Clears the first group of players, but then it's headed out of bounds by an Enterprise player, and Mark Flynn will have the opportunity to send things down the other way for the Cardinals. Less than 10 minutes to go in the first half. Cardinals with a 2-goal lead. Jake Lazary and Hello Bill with goals so far today. This is where Enterprise has kind of been their weak link through the game here. Is they've tried to pass it around down there too much, I think, on our side of the field, and been able to steal it away a couple times. The Cardinals have. Take advantage of it, get a couple of goals, another couple shot on goals as well. Ends up out of bounds, so it'll be a Wildcat throw in just past midfield towards their goal. Again, Enterprise in the white. They're headed right to left. Cardinals wear a gray uniform with a white front. Once in a while, depending on the angle, can get a little bit confusing. Cleared out of bounds by an Enterprise player, so it'll be a throw in for St. Michael. Just past midfield. Takes it into Raphael. Over to Andy. And back out to Huck. To Jake. Back to Andy. Sorry, that's Huck Smerelia. Raphael is down there to kind of battle things out, but doesn't come away with much. There's a whistle, so there's going to be stoppage in play. A foul on the Wildcats. Free kick for the Cardinals. Just outside the circle there, about 40 meters or a little more deep. See what they can do with it. Again, that's usually Hello Bill over there. He's kicking that. It looks like he might not have been, though. Way down to the middle and into the goal by someone. Is that Jake? Was that Jake? Sorry, looking through the viewfinder, I can't really tell sometimes who actually scored it, but Jake Lazary with the goal to take us up 3-0 now with 6 minutes and 26 seconds left to go in the first period. So good outing so far by the Cardinals. As they've controlled the game pretty handily. It seems like 3 goals almost isn't enough to really kind of tell you how much they've really kind of controlled the game in the first half. But where there are 2 goals by Jake Lazary and 1 by Halil Bill to start off the scoring, and that's where we are at 3-0 now. Headed closer to halftime as we're under 6 minutes to go before the break. Enterprise heading down their side of the field. going to be a toss in from the sideline. We're at the edge of the 18-yard box. Well, see, that's what they call the 18-yard box. Maybe it's 20 meters. I don't know. I'm going to find out, though. We'll ask Coach Tito after the game. Yards or meters. There, it's cleared by the Cardinals down to midfield, but headed back again by the Wildcats. Going to go out of bounds, throw in Wildcats. They're getting down close to their line, but again, not able to get much of a chance to shot on goal. The speed of the Cardinals is what's really kind of taken control of the game today. They're able to take advantage of a lot of different things. The long passes and the passing around that Enterprise has been doing, we've been able to get in there and steal them just because of the speed of Raphael and Jake. Little Bill had a couple of steals as well. Here's a penalty kick, and that's Hello Bill, number 12 right there, as he tries to send it into play. There's the kick straight towards the goal. We're kind of looking for a little bit of help there because that wasn't going to go in, but unable to do anything. Headed out by the keeper of the Wildcats. Eventually ends up out of bounds. Toss in for the Cardinals. They maintain possession. There's out of bounds and throw in for the Wildcats. Trying to keep the visitors' stands from being in the shot too much, as everything is so bright out here, and it just bounces right off those aluminum stands. Maybe not quite so much noticeable on the camera as it is to my eyesight. Let's hope it's not. Now we're going to get a throw in for the Cardinals. Down to 3 minutes now to go in the half. Oh, breakaway, and that was Raphael. Raphael Duchesne with a real nice kick in right there, and my iPad went dead. Sorry, my iPad went dead. I'm sorry, I was running the graphics for the goals there, and Raphael deserves a graphic, but my iPad went dead sitting in the sun. It gave me a temperature warning, so we'll have to let that cool off. So 4-0 now, 4 goals. We got a goal from Raphael Duchesne, 2 from Jake Lazary. And then that final one from Raphael. Getting down to 2 minutes to go. And I believe a penalty called on Enterprise. And you're going to get a free kick for the Cardinals with Mark Flynn sending it down the field. Enterprise desperately trying to get something in the goal before the half. The clock ticks down on him as we get ready for the break. It's going to head down in the field, but Mark Flynn gathers it up real quick like. And yeah, iPad needs to cool down before you can use it. So let's take care of that at halftime. Number 6, Jackson Charles. That's number 21, Toby Edmiston, about to throw it in. Down to 45 seconds left in the half, but here's an opportunity for the Cardinals again. Raphael tries to send it into the midfield. Doesn't get it to go, though. Cleared out, and the Wildcats head down the field. But the Cardinal defense clears it out of bounds. Clock ticking. Looks like we're going to enter the break with the Cardinals up 4-0 over the Enterprise Wildcats in a non-region game here on a Saturday afternoon at the Nest. Great to have you with us on the Wild Cardinal Network as the final seconds tick away in the half. We're going to get a 15-minute break here. I'm going to go get my iPad to cool down, see if we can't use it in the second half, and we will be back in a few minutes after this break. Try to see where the Cardinals huddle, and I'll get a camera on them. Before we settle again, this is a non-region game for the Cardinals as they start, I believe, next week. Again, now my iPad has to cool down, so I can't even tell you at halftime here what their schedule is, as that's what I was going to use to look it up. But I believe starting next Tuesday, they start with open regional play with BC Rain. But we'll finalize that and make sure of that before we go too far this afternoon. And for the moment, I was just trying to get your players in the camera for the halftime, something for you to look at halftime. I'm going to take a few minutes break, make sure everything's working all right, cool down my iPad, and we will go from there. Thank you again for joining us. You're watching Cardinal Soccer on the WCN. Hey, we're getting ready for the second half. They'll kick off here in just a moment or two as they're huddling up and getting ready. We got a 4-0 lead right now. The Cardinals do, taking on the Enterprise Wildcats out of Enterprise, Alabama today. This is, again, a non-region game as Enterprise is a 7A Area 3 opponent today. They also play with Carver, Montgomery, Dothan, and Montgomery Academy is also in their region. And so a bit of a larger school, a 7A school. We're appointed as a 5A Area 1, Region 1, opponent. So a little bit larger school, but we're having a fine time playing against them today. As again, a 4-0 lead for your Cardinals. I'll gather my things, head up on top to run the camera again, and we'll get going for the second half. Thank you for joining us. You're watching Cardinal Soccer on the WCN. Apologize, we should be. How about going? Let me get the camera set here, find where the ball is for you. Get the action back in your frame. Just trying to find a someplace to make some shade to put my iPad so it doesn't get overheated again. Now we've switched directions, of course. St. Michael in the gray, with the right fronts are now headed from right to left. That's Raphael Duchesne headed towards the corner. Be out of bounds. Either a throw in or a corner kick. It looks like a throw in, pardon me, for Cardinals. Let me do one more thing to try to set up some shade here in a second. Hopefully the Cardinals will I'll give you a wide shot here for a second. Well, let's wait for break. There's Mark Flynn for the Cardinals. Sends it across and up. There's Raphael with the ball. Shot down, gathered by the goalkeeper for Enterprise. He's going to clear it for Enterprise. Okay, it's going to be cleared by Mark Flynn. Apologies, I finally got my iPod into some shade. Just in case there's more scoring that goes on. Mark Flynn is going to end up with that ball after it kind of squeaks through everybody. Going to gather it up and kick it out. Ends up down towards Raphael. I believe that was Jackson Charles down the other end for the Cardinals. It'll be a free kick actually for Jack there. I think that's Jackson Charles, as he ended up on the ground, and so they're going to call a foul against Enterprise. And here's Jackson Charles with a free kick. Jack sends it in. Oh, it's batted away by the goalkeeper for Enterprise, though. He sent it right into the middle of the goal. Enterprise trying to turn things around after a 4-goal deficit in the second half. There's a shot on goal. Oh, and it gets past Mark Flynn and into the net for the first goal of the day for Enterprise as Wildcats get on the board. It's 4-1 at the 35-minute mark here, left to go in the second period. So 5 minutes into the second period, Enterprise gets on the board. Still a 3-goal lead for the Cardinals, so no reason to panic. Raphael will start things off as he kicks it back. That was Robert Watson, number 3. Battling back and forth, just what I complained about Enterprise doing in the first half. That's been happening a little bit to the Cardinals. Let's just keep things away from our goal. Not get any lucky kicks for the Wildcats involved in the situation. But get them back into the game. Way down to the other end of the field and gathered up by the Enterprise keeper who throws it out. And up out of bounds, it's going to be a throw-in for the Wildcats, right there. About 15 yards or so, maybe 10 yards from the end zone. Kicked out and around to midfield. The Wildcats look to try to make something else happen. Ends up out of bounds, throw in for the Cardinals, right in front of the Enterprise bench. Went into halftime, 4-0. Now with about 5 minutes gone in the second half, the Wildcats able to get on the board. So still a 3-goal lead for the Cardinals. But I must say that the Enterprise, the Wildcats have picked it up here in the second half as far as just kind of their pace has quickened a little bit. Maybe the coach was able to get them awake after the bus ride down here. And then they sat and watched the JV game prior to this. So maybe Enterprise just needed to get warmed up. But I still think the Cardinals are a bit of a second-half team myself. That's the way they have been playing the last few games that I've seen them. So giving up the 1 goal here in the second half, I expect some more offense to develop here from the Cardinals as the second half wears on. Sideline toss right at midfield into Raphael. There's a Not sure what happened there. As it seemed like the referee didn't start play of that, but it didn't matter. The Wildcats just went ahead and kicked it anyway, but no problem. We're playing. The Wildcats down in front of Mark Flynn. There's a shot right into Mark as he saved that. See, I'll look away to do the graphic for Mark Flynn's save, and the ball moves around. Pardon me, but the shade from my iPad is a little ways away from me. Batted around all the way back to Mark Flynn, where our goalkeeper will send things off. Hopefully set up some more offense for the Cardinals. In the second half, the Wildcats have been playing a little bit better than they did the first half and been down in front of Mark a little bit more here in the second half than they did the first. And that has ended up with a score for the Wildcats. Went the first 40 minutes without, but 5 minutes into the second half, they're able to get one past Mark. And now they're going to get a free kick from about 30 yards out. So Enterprise is trying to kind of set up a play to the left over there. Sends it right down in front. Oh, and it's kicked over the top and out of bounds by an Enterprise player. And so Mark Flynn will get an opportunity to clear the ball for the Cardinals from the keeper box. Sends it over to Andy Cisneros in the blue shoes. Sends it down to Jake. Jake Lazary battling it out with number 10 there for Enterprise. Ends up out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for Andy and the Cardinals. Out of bounds throw-in for the Cardinals. I'm sorry, for the Wildcats. Their side of the field here. Temperature has picked up a little bit. It's maybe 75 now, but it is warm in the sun. And it is coming pretty much straight down on the players right now, as you can tell from their shadows. As Jake Lazary tries to clear things out, number 22 for the Cardinals there, ends up out of bounds. Throw in Wildcats. They send it in. And it's cleared downfield and goes out of bounds. It's going to be another throw in for the Wildcats. Cardinal defense up to the task here as really, again, the Wildcats have kept things down here in the second period. There's another shot towards the goal. Goes up and over the top. Gets into the net, but after it goes over the top of the goal post. So we'll look for Mark Flynn, our senior goalkeeper, to clear it. Three-goal lead for the Cardinals now as we're ticking down to less than 28 minutes to go. There are two 40-minute periods. We're in period 2 now. And a little bit of, I'm confused what happened. The ball actually ended up at midfield where they dropped it. Went out of my eyesight for a second, pardon me. But we head back down towards Mark Flynn again as Enterprise has done a better job on offense here in the second half than the first, resulting in one score so far. It's kept Mark Flynn a lot busier in the second half here than the first. There's a whistle, probably a handball. That's the way it looked to me. So you're going to get a free kick. From right there. Right in the middle, 18 yards out. So an advantageous spot for the Wildcats here, down by 3 goals. Oh, and he manages to squeak it past the line of the Cardinals and into the goal for the second goal of the afternoon for the Wildcats. With the 26-minute mark, they bring the score now to 4-2. As it got by the line, there was kind of the initial line right in front of the kicker there, and he kicked it just to the right of that line, and that line kind of shielded Mark Flynn a little bit from seeing the ball, I think. And so kind of a squeak it through kind of goal for the Enterprise Wildcats to bring the score to 4-2. Again, you can hear the wind gusts every once in a while. They pick up to around 15 miles an hour or so, but still a pretty day here in Fairhope, Alabama. With the Wild Cardinal Network. Online with Cardinal Soccer. Where else are you going to see that but the Wild Cardinal Network? Make sure and like and subscribe to the St. Michael YouTube channel, if you will. It helps us out. Gives us impressive numbers. Lets us know you're watching your St. Michael Cardinals, whether you're an aunt, uncle, cousin, friend, or just a fan of the Cardinals. Now, I believe next Thursday we have a game on tap for the both the boys and the girls on the Wild Cardinal Network coming on in next week. The girls enjoying a good game or a good season this year, again under Coach BD. And they'll be starting region play here next week, where we'll look for them to get far into the playoffs or the postseason again this year. Batted out to Robert Watson. We're keeping it down in front of Enterprise here for the last minute or so. And I hope I didn't jinx the Cardinals by calling them a second half team and then they come out and give up a 4-goal lead. But Enterprise did kind of pick up their pace here in the second half. The coach maybe got them a little excited at halftime, maybe changed their strategy a little bit, but it has resulted in better success for the Wildcats here in the second half. The Cardinals came back from halftime maybe just a little bit happy they were ahead by 4 goals, maybe a little bit complacent. Maybe those 2 goals has kind of shocked them back into playing shape here. But they're still playing dangerously a lot down in front of Mark Flynn. There's a sub coming in, it looks like. They're waiting for on the side. They're looking for a throw-in from Jake Lazary here. Down on our side of the field. Then they changed who's going to throw that in. That's Andy Cisneros in the blue shoes, number 11. Sends it into Raphael. Ends up down in front of Mark Flynn again, who comes out from the box, grabs a hold of it. Waits for a second. Sends it down to midfield for play. Where Enterprise again turns the tide, sends it across. So Enterprise playing much better here in the second half. Another shot towards the goal, but it's batted away, comes way across the field and out of bounds, where it's going to be a throw in for the Wildcats. Off the block by the Cardinals. Out of bounds. Again, it's going to be another throw in for the Wildcats. Not a corner kick, I don't think. Just a throw in here, but they're getting down to the point where it's almost a corner kick. He's going to throw it right towards the middle of the goal. Oh, and there goes Jake Lazary with a kick, clears it down the field, but Enterprise turns it right back around again. Raphael sends it down the field, where it's going to end up out of bounds, and a toss in for the Wildcats. That may not have been Raphael that kicked that ball, because there he is right there. And I'm trying to tell the difference in players through the viewfinder. A little bit difficult sometimes. Still nice, a bright Saturday afternoon in Lower Alabama. As the ball ends up out of bounds, we would have liked to have seen a foul there, according to the St. Michael fans on hand here. It's out of bounds. It's going to be a throw in for the Wildcats again. Wildcats are getting some breaks here in the second half, along with the kind of stepped up play. I think, like I said, you make your own luck, so. And there's a foul called. It's going to be a free kick for the Cardinals. It's going to allow Mark Flynn to clear it from the 18-yard box line. We're a little bit out from there. And our senior goalkeeper, Mark Flynn, on hand to clear the ball. Kicks it downfield past the logo. It's a good kick by Raphael to set things up. Oh, and it's a header. No, there's a whistle there. That is not a score. There was a lot of whistling and going on and such, but no score there. Foul called. Cleared by the Wildcats. Oh, almost across. He's trying to send it across the middle to Raphael. Broken up by Wildcat, though. Out of bounds and started play by the goalkeeper in pink from Enterprise. Sends it down the field. Sometimes you just don't know how that didn't go out of bounds. They're going to send it all the way down to Mark Flynn to let him kick it back out again. This is just what I said that Enterprise did in the first half incorrectly. They just spent too much time passing it around back and forth to their goalie and back way down too deep in their field in the first half. Now that isn't happening to them in the second half here. It's happening to us. There's going to be a foul called. Looks like it's going to be on Raphael. So Raphael Duchesne with a penalty there. I'm not sure if he might have been given a yellow card because of the way he's walked off the field there. Is there a yellow card in the hands of that gentleman? No. Okay. But he did get substituted out. Free kick for the Wildcats. Send it way down to Mark Flynn, who covers it up and is going to clear. There's a whistle. A whistle. Actually, I could use a bottle of water right about now. Whistle on the play. Foul called on the Wildcats, so Hello Bill is going to get a free kick just outside the logo there. Let's see what the Cardinals can set up here. If they can take any kind of advantage of this penalty. Hello Bill sends the ball in. Headed out by the Wildcats, though. Send it all the way back to Mark Flynn, who puts toe to it and sends it across midfield to Jake Lazary. Ends up going down towards Enterprise goal, but the Wildcats again able to kind of clear things, send it down towards our goal, and Mark Flynn, who will come out and gather things up. Out in front of Mark Flynn. Again, they shoot at it, but Mark knocks it away. And out of bounds. Not sure. We're going to get a corner kick then for the Wildcats. Yeah, Mark Flynn probably deserved a graphic for a save there, but I wasn't ready for it. As he bats it out of bounds, going to result in a corner kick for the Enterprise Wildcats. As I guess there was a substitution made by the guy who's about to kick the ball, as he's taken the long way across the field to the sideline. But he's out of play, so we're ready to go. Corner kick for the Enterprise Wildcats. They're down by 2. Headed out, though. Andy Cisneros eventually ends up clearing the ball a little ways. There's Hello Bill. Number 12 is going to toss it in for the Cardinals. Inching closer to 14 minutes left in the second period. 2 40-minute periods today. It's a non-region game, so if it ends in a tie, if the Wildcats are able to gather up another couple of scores and it ends in a tie, that is how the game will end. No overtime or extra kicks or anything like that in a non-region game. Throw in Jake Lazary kind of breaks things up. Enterprise able to control the ball, though. Send it down back into their side of the field before they set things up. That's Hux Morelia in the salmon shoes down there at the corner. It's going to go out of bounds, and they're going to get a No, there's a foul actually called, so it's going to be a free kick, allowing Mark Flynn to clear it from the keeper box. Waiting for Mark, our senior goalkeeper, to clear things. He sends it down towards midfield. Oh my goodness. And there was an opportunity there as it got into midfield with Hux Morelia right in the middle of the goal, but it's batted away by the Wildcats. But we're going to get a side throw in here down by our goal for the Cardinals. It's Jake Lazary, number 22, about to toss it in. There's Andy Cisneros, number 11, battling the ball away. Now they're going to kick it. It's going to go out of side bounds again. So we're just going to start right back over again with Jake Lazary. He's going to toss it in just a couple of yards from the end line. Oh, he hands the ball over to Andy Cisneros. And the ball ends up out of bounds, this time by a Cardinal, so it's going to be cleared by the keeper for the Wildcats. So we're getting down to less than 12 minutes to go in the game. Still a 2-goal lead for the Cardinals. And I kind of feel lucky that we got a 2-goal lead right now. Enterprise has played a much better second half than they did in the first. Had a lot of shot on goals and been playing down in their end of the field quite often. But the Cardinals have been done a good job the last minute or two. As the clock, of course, is in their favor, running down now to 11 minutes to go. Still a 2-goal lead. And they're going to clear it from the goal box for Enterprise. Ball at midfield. And back again. A shot on goal by, is that Robert Watson? Shot on goal by number 6 there. Clears it clear down back towards Mark Flynn, who just kicks it away. Back to midfield. That's Robert Watson, number 3, I believe. Battle at midfield between the two teams here. There's nobody really gaining the upper hand. And back and forth, back and forth. Oh, look at that pass by St. Michael right there. Comes across. Down in towards the keeper box, Raphael. That's Raphael Duchesne. Raphael Duchesne with the goal puts us up 5-2 over the Wildcats. Second goal by Raphael this afternoon. We've got a goal by Hello Bill, 2 by Jake Lazary, and 2 by Raphael Duchesne. And there's your total of 5 goals for the Cardinals on the afternoon. So 5 goals to 2 now. As that's the first goal in the second half here for the Cardinals, which gives a little bit of a cushion for them as we're rounding down the last 9 minutes of the game. And the Wildcats now are facing an even bigger hill to climb. Both of their scores have come in the second half here. But really towards the beginning of the second half, St. Michael has really clamped down the last 10 minutes or so. After a really kind of blazing start in the second half by the Wildcats, as they came back with just a little bit of pep in their step, and it looked like kind of coach woke them up over there at halftime as they were down 4-0 at half. But they came back to play the second half, getting their 2 goals in, but now Raphael gives us a little bit of cushion with his second goal of the afternoon. And adds to his total goals on the year. Next game, when we come in next Tuesday, we start regions play. We'll try to get some statistics put together for the players that we can highlight with. Let you know how the players have been doing throughout the season. Jake Lazary has quite a few goals, as does Raphael. I know Hello Bill has a number of scores as well, and that's just off the top of my head. We'll get with Coach Tito. Maybe I can go to El Mexicano tonight and see Coach Tito, get some tacos and some statistics at the same time. Somehow the Enterprise player kept that in bounds. I don't know how. But it is cleared by, it looked like number, I can't see the number, pardon me, cleared by the Cardinals. So a toss in by the Wildcats. Comes Andy and Halil. Cardinals clear it, gathered up over here on the sideline. That's a little Bill that ends up on the ground, and he kind of grimaced in pain momentarily there. At least I think that's number 12, Hello Bill. He just kind of landed awkwardly. It was not. That was not Hello Bill. But no time wasted and no substitution taken for any kind of injury or anything like that. But they're going to get a free kick from there as the Wildcats set up. Ready to go. Send it in towards. There's a whistle before he kicked it. I felt like it was before he kicked it. Something happened. They're going to stop play and allow St. Michael to clear the ball. So a penalty of some kind. That is fortuitous for the Cardinals. So you're going to see Mark Flynn, our senior goalkeeper, once more send the ball into play deep downfield. With under 6 minutes to go now, the Enterprise Wildcats face an uphill challenge, down with by 3 goals. And little time to do it in. Ball ends up out of bounds, so it's going to be a side throw in for the Wildcats. Over by Molly Pierce, our trainer in the golf cart there. There's someone ends up on the ground. Ball's going to stop, and St. Michael's going to get a penalty kick from there. Going to end up out of bounds, and St. Michael's going to throw it in a few yards from the end line. Sneaks in there, shot on goal, off to the right just a little bit, and saved by the goalkeeper for the Wildcats. He knocked it out of bounds. It's going to result in a goal, or a corner kick, forgive me, for the Cardinals. With 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go, the Cardinals seem to be in the catbird seat right now. Opportunity to add to their lead, but it's batted away by the Wildcats. Shot back just over the top of the goal. A deep shot from the Cardinals there. As I'm unsure who made that shot, and I'm looking through the goal, or the sun's getting a little bit worse as far as running a camera is concerned. It's kind of falling down behind me as the afternoon is dragging on a little bit. But we are just about done now. Inching close to 3 minutes left to go in the game, and a 3-goal lead. So a goal a minute for the next 3 minutes for Enterprise to catch up. Hard to see that happening, as the Cardinals have done a good job on defense this afternoon. Gave up a couple goals here in the second half, but after that initial 2-goal run kind of by Enterprise, they clamped things down and put things back in their favor with a goal here in the second period by Raphael Duchesne. There's a whistle, and it's going to go in favor of the Cardinals. They're going to get a free kick just a few yards out of the 18-yard box. And that'll be Mark Flynn giving that kick for us. Down to 2 minutes now to go in the game. And it would take a chain of events like I can't imagine for the Wildcats to get back into it at this point. And I believe this will put a 2-game winning streak for the Cardinals as they enter region play, which is a nice position to be in, to have a little bit momentum as they head towards the region. I saw earlier today where the St. Michael Cardinals were ranked number 6 in 5A classification for the state of Alabama. So kudos for the ranking, top 10 ranking here. As we go into region play, they may even get into the top 5 with a win today, and perhaps whoever's in the top 5 loses. I saw where the girls are ranked number 6 as well in 5A, state of Alabama. So both squads having another good season. They'll start postseason play in the last week of April, as we'll have all of our region play pretty much in the month of April, with just one game here at the last week of March. And a free kick for Enterprise. Sends it in towards Mark, but it goes way wide. We'll give an opportunity for Mark Flynn to kick it one more time. Last 30 seconds of the contest, they may have added some time to the clock. I don't believe so. So I think we're clicking down to the last few seconds of the contest, and a victory for your St. Michael Cardinals. And the ball comes all the way into the stadium. And that's it. That's the end of the game, as the Cardinals end up with a 5-2 victory over the Enterprise Wildcats this afternoon. A Saturday afternoon contest here at the Nest. Non-region contest, as they're still warming up to start region play next week. And so a good night or good afternoon for the Cardinal soccer team today. As we'll wait for the Cardinal soccer team to line up, I'll get a shot of them here for the YouTube channel as they'll come over and greet the crowd after shaking hands. And they get to say hello to Mom and Dad and everybody here as the Cardinal faithful. They thank the referees for doing a fine job on this afternoon. And here they come to applause from Cardinal Nation here at the Nest on a Saturday afternoon. Your St. Michael Cardinal soccer team victorious over the Enterprise Wildcats today, 5-1. We started off with a goal from Halil Bill, and then we had 2 goals from Jake Lazary, and then Raphael Duchesne finished off the scoring today, whereas he scored 2 goals as well. 1 in the first half, and then he got our only goal here in the second half. Went into halftime 4-0, and the Cardinals pull out a victory today. So warm up for region play starting next week. We'll look forward to you joining us here on the Wild Cardinal Network. I believe it's Tuesday evening. Look at the schedule if you would for the next game. I believe it's maybe even Thursday evening for both the boys varsity and girls varsity next week, where they start region play. So again, thank you for joining us here on the Wild Cardinal Network. You've been watching Cardinal Soccer on the WCN. Have a good afternoon.